dogged into that.
I'll try not to keep interrupting you, but what is happening in our world now? Why are like that massacre of all those children? Why?
That's what
It
I'm
just
saying.
seems like there's so much.
I hate to say it, this is part of this shift. Okay, okay, how can I say this? All right, whenever there's change in our lives, correct, there has to be a catalyst. Is that correct? Nothing comes just because. When in hindsight you see catalysts, and one of the catalysts is fear. Fear of money, fear of the economy. Is America going broke? Which we'll go into another chapter on that one. But basically, you know, where's my job? Or am I going to be okay? Is my relationship going to be okay? By the way, relationships, 98% of it, your relationships, changing. In the last 2 years, and I've said this for 2 years, either for the good or a lot of people passing. Who here has been noticing a lot of suicides? It's going to get worse. I mean, that's what I've been doing, reading. And most of the time, 98%, oh yeah, you just thought of doing it. But how do you know? Nobody knew. Oh really? You wouldn't be here in front of me if they didn't know. You understand? Nothing, I read through, oh yeah, we're talking about dimensions. See, they get me on track. Dimensions. I actually go through dimensions. I do not go through angels or guides or anything. I actually go out backwards, forwards, future. And that's how I'm able to see and be more accurate, okay, in my readings. And if you're not, if people come, but very few people come back and they say, oh, it didn't happen. Well, did you do A, B, C? No. And by the way, I can remember readings, thousands of them. Because remember, it's just like a file. You just open it and it's revealed and I can see it. So don't play with me. And I said, others know, some people don't. So basically, there's a lot more violence coming in. I'm afraid, I'm sorry to say that, but it is something, again, I accurately predicted, unfortunately, it's going to continue because there are people going into the extremes of it. Extremes behavior, feeling less than. They're desperate because they have no money. They have nothing to lose. You understand? And there's a control factor that's huge here. The control factor is who here, and you can raise your hand, but don't worry, your back's to the camera, but basically who here has been finding that there's a lot of people in their lives that have got more controlling, if at all possible. Really? And guess what? They're going to get worse. They're going to, who here has been seeing that they're getting, other than controlling, that there are people, and we call them logics and emotionals. Emotionals in here who've been, oh, they see a kitty and they're crying for no reason. Guess what? You're the emotionals. The logics, the other side of the pendulum, I hate to say it, who here have been getting, or have people in their lives, who are getting more aggressive and argumentative and angry for no reason at all, and you're agreeing with them and they're still arguing with you. They're going to get worse. This is all part of this shift. You can't change anything, just like breaking an egg to make an omelet. You can't change anything and recreate something unless you disintegrate it. So who here has been going through depressions that they've never had before, or funks, let's say funks. Anybody? And that funk, it's only a ghost, don't worry. I said that. I was filming in an NBC4 studio. See, I told you. NBC4 studio. And it was quite an old studio in Reno. And suddenly, we had two cameramen. One was 6'6", and the other guy was there, and two ankles. And then suddenly the door opened, and nobody was in the station. And the door, and the president of NBC was there, taking the class, and quite a few others. And it's on the video. And suddenly the door opened, and you have to open the door in a weird way. And he said, no way can that be open. Everything, can you feel a real cold breeze? That's when you know they're in the room. And this guy, and I said, oh yeah, he's right behind you. He's really interested in your camera. This guy, 6'6", jumped and he was really, really, poor devil. I don't think he's got over it. But basically, yes, they're going to be far more, and when we do teach classes, I know you feel really cold, and you even can see your breath, it's that bad. They're in the room. They love this subject. I'm sorry.
I'm curious, is it because of the powerful energies coming in that is pushing people's issues?
It's not, it's really not the power of that, it's the transition. We're going through, other than the energy, because it came a bit late, but we're going through a huge transition of energy in dimensions being introduced in here. But also, I hate to say it, we're also going through a polar shift, and we're going through a massive a transformation of the planet. We're going through a huge thing, and these are all the things I'm addressing in some of the videos on about 3% really, but the book is now about this big. I have to split it up. But basically this is all information that it has come true. Some of it I have to take out because obviously it's already come true, but I'll be doing in the future. But addressing people and what people are afraid of, okay? One thing I get really annoyed is with books where they give you help books, and then suddenly they leave you standing. Oh yeah, this is going to happen. Oh God, now I'm in fear. And you close the book and that's it. So you're left with fear. So what I do in all the classes, but definitely in the book, I'm going to give you exercises. Excuse me, I'm talking too much. Exercises to be proactive and go and address some of the issues. Okay, so those will be included in a book. Already there's one exercise called a kicker. It's called a kick in the head, actually, kicker, and that will change every relationship in your life if you're brave enough to do it, because it'll give you a concept and a change of how you see you. How can I say this? How people see you. You're going to see their point of view. It's changed people's lives at the moment, because you think, oh, you know, why is my mother always so mean and horrible? And then you go into there and seeing from there, or whatever relationship, and seeing what they're seeing and realizing they're coming from a different point of view. And it has changed. Hopefully it changed positively. Okay, so this year, I'm afraid, for the next, until about really the 23rd, you're going to see all this. The intensity, as I said when I started, there were 4 incidences of shootings in less than 3 days since I uploaded that video. There's going to be more, and this is because it's a concentration of energy that is in a massive change, and it's like a full moon on steroids, basically. Whoever's been a nurse will know what a full moon is. They put more police on whatever, on patrol, and also more nurses. They're known to put that because they know that not exactly the nuts come out, but there's going to be far more activity. Sometimes you're a bit of in duality. You're 1 minute you're okay, then you do something else. You purposely like putting people on edge sometimes. Is that true?
Yes.
Is that true? Yeah. So it's as if you enjoy it and seeing the effects, and you step back into the curtains and watch what goes on. It's not a bad thing. It's just that you're doing it unconsciously. But that's what she claims. But seriously, she does. But basically, you've got a few good things coming in mid-January, but you have to be open to it sometimes because of the things that have happened. This is not my readings are downstairs. I don't do detailed readings here. Sometimes what happens in our past affects us, and we kind of close doors and we have myopia, what I call spiritual myopia, and we don't want to see what's out there. Does that make sense? Okay, well, things are good. So anyway, basically you've got a lot of, and you've got a decision by end of February. Do you realize that? The gentleman with the blue. Do you have a decision to be made by the end of February? Think about it, because they don't give me inaccurate information. There is something that you need. You've been kind of putting it off, and you need to kind of address it, okay? I think, does that make sense to you? Okay, well, anyway. So, all right, so I know we're down to nothing. Yeah, I'm sorry, there's somebody else coming in, so I'm going to be talking just a bit more. Oh, here they are. Okay, so I guess I better go. No, I don't know if they are. No, they're all looking. All right, so basically, any questions quickly? Yes?
Is this like they call it the biblical end of times shift or something?
Well,
because like Nostradamus and Edgar Cayce and all these people.
Yeah, but remember, it's time is really, it's just like, it's not defined. It's just like energy, you can't define
My
it.
little autistic grandson says it's a time-space continuum.
Oh, how cute. But
I don't know what he's talking about.
No, but he is very, very, that's the son from your daughter, right? Yeah, because she's got it big time. But basically, it is all the changes that are happening. It's just like putting a huge bowl of, a spiritual bowl, and they're dumping everything in and seeing what comes out. Now, the pendulum effect in the book explains that we're going to our extremes. You know, shootings and crazy behavior, and people that you thought were okay are just going nutso. And then the opposite, where people you think were, who's seeing people that are getting chattier and more voluble in their lives than they weren't before. It's as if they've taken some drugs and they're, you know, happily talking like non-stop. Like, yeah, I suppose. But does that make sense?
Yeah.
These are all changing behaviors. But the thing is, try and do that try and do that, the kicker exercise. It does change people's lives. And there's so many more, and I will, of course, if you've signed up, I'll send you all the links. But basically the candle lesson, if I've got a few minutes quickly, I know I'm not, but until I get kicked out. But basically the candle lesson, you try and do it in the morning when you light candles, or say prayers, because you in the evening you only put it in your pillow and you go to sleep. So I'm saying do it in the morning. So when you light the candle, ask for anything and everything. Do not be restricted with your request. The caveats, if you don't ask, you don't get. And I know you tend not to. You always give it to other people, don't you? You can't do that. You have to stay, not you can. I can't tell you what to do. By the way, anybody downstairs, I don't care. I'm very outspoken. I don't care who it is downstairs. They're not allowed to tell you what to do. We can guide you, but we're not allowed to tell you. It's your life, correct? Not our lives. So you have to remember that. Anyway, quick second caveat. In their time, not you know, your time. It'll happen, but remember they know best. And be careful what you ask for. Second rule, say thank you when you light the candle. Third rule is that when the flame, and you know, the first one I ever did was the flame was this high, and it was my mother. And basically, they will come in. You'll see it going, doing belly dance. The other one will be static. They are in the room, okay? They want and talk to your loved ones who've passed on. They are far more alive there than they are here, trust me. And it could be your mother, I just realized. You better do the salt exercise. There's something called the salt exercise. Oh, by the way, everybody has a different color candle. If you really want your color and your guide, just email me and I'll do it. I do readings all over the world. I don't need to be in front of you. So I'll give that to you. But it could be your mother. I'm sorry, Julie. Do the salt exercise, and then it literally gets rid of any dark entities or negative entities in your whole house or room. And it does work, but unless they're really aggressive, I don't see any.
What kind of exercise?
It's called the salt exercise, and if you've done there, you could either email me separately and say I need that, and I'll upload it for you and send it to you, because I've got 200 here. I'm sure you don't want to go through every one of them.
Do you
Okay?
have a group downstairs?
Yes, I do. Yeah. So I'm already kind of a bit booked, but you're welcome. And if you are looking for a reading, no, I am very, as a few people know, I'm very honest, brutally frank. Not mean, okay, but very honest and frank. I don't mess around. I go backwards first if you're new to me. Why is it important? Because you need to know I've connected. You don't want to be spending money for nothing. And also, I need to know I've connected. In thousands and thousands, I've read for only 3 I've not connected, and they blocked me. So basically, we're going to go backwards briefly, and the times that I bring up are actually crucial to where you are now. Something is anchoring you, why you're stuck, and why you're being put in front of me. I only see specific people, and in other words, they are drawn to me, just like any other reader. And you get the messages, and then we go forward. And these are anchoring things, so you need to address them. Okay? So I'm going to leave you. I don't know what's happening to your next one. Oh, here they are. Hey, come on in. Sorry.